Oh, hi. I just noticed that it's March 4th today, and I remembered an ad I heard on the radio a few years ago. It was for at a car dealership, and they were wishing everybody a happy March 4th of July. And then this other guy comes on the radio to say that it's a promotion that if you buy a vehicle before March 4th, you'll have no payments until the 4th of July. Not that I would ever do a deal like that. I've never financed a car in my lifetime, but I broke out laughing because at the time I was dealing with a lot of other dramas in my life. I had just broken up with a girl over of some issues with she thought I was cheating on her. I was spending a lot of time writing a computer game. I was getting ready for a publication in Taiwan, and I would agree to meet with her after work, but I would get off work and I would be so lost in thought writing the computer game that by the time I got to her home, it was like 10 p.m. She was so upset, and her parents were also upset about all the drama. I mean, they didn't understand computer games. I think they come from a different background. They didn't really understand computer games. She didn't understand. She really thought I was cheating on her, and after I argued with her one night, I stormed out. And I ended up driving to Ellensburg, Washington. We were living in Redmond, Washington. This is like a 1.5, 2 hours drive away. But I was so lost in thought that before I knew it, I ended up in Ellensburg. And I realized I didn't need the girl in my life. And so that was good. I think it might have been one of those drives out to Ellensburg where I heard the happy March 4th of July. I can't remember the exact date. I tried to look it up online. I couldn't find very much information about it. But happy March 4th of July. Um, Now, the caveat is I don't personally need the girl in my life. The problem is that a lot of society revolves around having a partner in life, and sometimes it makes it very challenging to get very far. In fact, watch my last video about a recurring problem I have every spring when I try to go to one of those traveling carnivals. Hopefully this summer I hope to make a scene at one of these carnivals. I have a big problem. A lot of those carnival rides need two people to ride, which is a physical limitation of the ride. Fine, I agree with that. I mean, I'm not going to insist that they redesign the rides just for that problem. Although going forward, they could definitely put more into when they finally make new rides into that. My problem is with the management of the rule, right? You could put people together in a suitable way to make the ride work with people who go there alone. Some people travel in groups of three, right? And but they just put a blatant sign up there, no single riders, which makes it completely non-negotiable. It doesn't help that a lot of the people who work there are not very well versed on some of these people have literacy issues, so when you try to explain what's going on, there's a little bit of a barrier, right? It doesn't help with that regard too. So I think it's an issue of how they manage the rule, right? It's a physical limitation that the ride needs two people, but how you manage around it really speaks volumes about how you operate. So I'm thinking later this year when I have a chance to protest peacefully the policy. I'll get in line, I'll get to the front of the line and see if anybody wants to ride with me. If not, I'll walk up to the right and sit down anyway and explain my situation that, I'm in love with myself and this is how I live my life. Why don't you find a way to make this work? Either you can get on the ride, I suppose, right? I could ask the one of the ride operators if they would like to ride on it, or you could maybe move some people around. And hopefully in their wisdom they'll find a way to figure that out. If not, and I get dragged off the ride, I'd like to make a video of it, and it could just be the beginning of a peaceful protest for singles. And I would have done it tonight, actually. I was actually already planning it out. The only thing that kind of scared me was that the operator, looked very heavy muscled, and I wish I had a can of mace on me just in case things went south, right? That's one thing I would probably do if I wanted to prepare for something like this. And second, I'm in the middle of a job application. I don't want it to complicate the situation, right? Either I miss my appointment, they find out I get arrested, or whatever the situation is. And so, hopefully, after I stabilize my situation at work, I have some time on my hands and I come better prepared with cameras and maybe even a backup team, right? And maybe a can of mace or something like that. If I come prepared like that, I'll probably give that a shot at some point. If any of you guys have any suggestions when I finally do that, feel free to leave a comment as well. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.